Hello.
Hey, is everything all right? Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yes, I can look at everything. Sounds
Perfect.
good. Good.
That's nice.
Nice. How are you, Bogdan?
Good overall. Excited for today, right? The
Yeah.
conference, big day. Also, we have some, in my opinion, interesting stuff to show in this specific session. So yeah. What about you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's been pretty cool. Um, Also watching the opening keynote, some exciting stuff right there.
I mean,
And
as always.
as always, and I think it's still going, right? So that's also why I think we will start a bit later.
Hmm.
Um, so maybe wait a little bit until more people join, and then we can start. Yeah, where are you at right now, Bogdan?
I'm in Riga. That's the capital of Latvia. Hopefully, people are aware of this small country. Uh, yeah, which is you're in Amsterdam, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, Riga is I think 2,000 kilometers away from Amsterdam. So
Yeah,
we're showcasing today how you can actually uh, interact and connect for by such long distance. Why not, right?
exactly. Especially in these times where everything is working, everybody's working from home, and it's good to showcase some stuff. I think yeah, it's going to be amazing what we will be showing today. That's really cool. So how many people are in here already?
I see 21,
21. That's cool.
23, 24. Yeah, I think
And
the
counting.
main show is over and people are slowly joining in, which is great.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. So maybe wait a little bit more, uh, and then we can get going.
yep.
Okay. Yeah, I thought we would have a moderator, actually. I thought Ben would moderate, but no problem. We can also do that ourselves, um, I guess.
Well, I think we'll handle that. At least we'll do our best. Uh, Hopefully,
Okay.
no one is having. I see there are some issues with the sound. Hopefully, Sharon will help people out with that. Uh,
Yeah.
as
Yeah,
far as the.
Safari. Yeah. So if you, I also noticed this, like this hop-in app. I think it works best in Firefox or Chrome. So also when I do these live sessions, sometimes I have issues with Chrome even. So I think it's best to use Firefox or Chrome. I'm using Chrome right now, which is working fine. Um, but so maybe that is a hint towards the resolution there.
Mhm.
Hopefully.
Well, there are 33 people, I guess, and we're also quite short on time. I guess we
Yeah.
can start.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, cool. So maybe we start with a little bit of introduction of ourselves. So I will start. Yeah. So my name is Kevin Schiffer. I am a front-end developer and UX designer here at Things Industries. I am together with Bogdan mostly responsible for the console, and we've been working very hard for the last almost 3 years now on this together. And yeah, so that's what I do here. And yeah, so Bogdan's, what about you?
Yeah, pretty much the same, except I'm not doing much of design within the Things network, mostly working on the console as well. Yeah, trying to shape the newest features that can help you start with and work with LoRaWAN and the Things stack in general. So that would be it.
Yeah, exactly. So for all the issues and crashes you have in the console, you know who to point your fingers to. So that's good that you guys have some faces now connected to that. No, but seriously, yeah. So what we want to do today is we want to show you a little bit how to set up an end-to-end use case. And so the story goes that, here at Things Industries every day we do our company stand-ups in the morning. And so I noticed that so every day when we do that with webcam and everything, I noticed that so Bogdan is using this LED strip there at the background, as you can see maybe right now. And
Yeah.
so after a while, I saw that it was only having this, it was always having the same color. And so I was asking if we maybe can get some variation in there. And so we just had this silly idea to make a little app with which I can use the Things node to, with the press of the button, more or less control the color and the intensity of the LED strip. And so that is what we will show you today. And so without further ado, we will get started. So let me just share my screen here. And of course, while doing that, we will give you a little bit of a round trip through the console. Oh, wow. Inception right there. So I hope you guys can see my screen. Can somebody confirm?
I can see the screen. Yeah.
Okay. So it seems to be working. So yeah, so let's get started. So so the new console, the overview screen. If you know the V2 console already, you will be somewhat familiar with this switch that we have here, where you can either select to manage your applications or your gateways. So we have a gateway already set up here in the Amsterdam office. So I will just go right ahead to the applications. And so, this is the list of the applications that I have access to. So I have already set up an application. So, but if you don't have one set up, you can very easily add one using the Create Application button here in this simple form. But since I've already done that, I will not do that. I will just go right away to the console, to the application here, GTS Live Session. So, and I have the Things node. I don't know if you can at the same time see my camera video, but I think so. So I have the Things node here. If you saw like earlier sessions with me, you will likely already be familiar with this the Things node device here. And I've set it already up to be connected to the Things network. So what I want to do now is to register this node. So I'll go ahead and on the overview screen here, select Add End Device. And so now what we have here is a really neat thing is we use the onboarding, which is powered by the LoRaWAN device repository. So if you saw the opening keynote, you have seen this already. So we have this big repository where we source all the registration information for the various LoRaWAN devices that there are. And so basically we take away the burden from the user to be familiar with all these different intricate settings and just preset everything for you. So all that I need to do is simply go to this manufacturer, which in this case is the Things product. We will select the Things node. There's only one hardware and firmware version, so we don't have to select that. And we're in Europe, so using the EU frequency plan. Or the EU profile, and then we have to specify it in a bit more detailed here. So we use here the second one with displaying factor 9 for a second transmission window, which is also the recommended setting. What is important is that when you have a gateway set up in your range, that it can only see the messages coming from the device if it is on exactly the same frequency plan. So app UI, since this is like a development device here, we can set it ourselves. So I just set it to all zeros for development purposes. And by the way, so we have this feature here now in the registration where we have contextual tooltips. So for all these different fields that you can see here, you can get some more information about what the field means, what should be entered here, and where you can find the correct value. So whenever you get stuck during the registration of a gateway or an end device, or for whatever field there is in the console, you can refer to these contextual tooltips, and they hopefully poke you in the right direction. And if you want even more information, you can go to the glossary page and read some more. So this is a really new, exciting feature that we added recently, and we will, well, it's not for every field that we have yet, but we will slowly but surely, or not even slowly, we will quickly update all the other fields, so you will have all the information that you need here. But anyway, the device, the dev UI, so I already extracted that one. So this is this one. I'll just paste it. And I also already set up an app key. So we can just use that here as well. Otherwise, you could just also generate one, but then you would have to set that up in your device. So I already did this. So this is why we're not doing this right now. And then, yeah, you can just set a name. So I will just call this live session node 1. And that's basically it. We can just go ahead and register the device. So it's not powered on right now, but now it is registered. And what we can do now is I can power it on and then wait a little bit. And hopefully, if the LoRaWAN gods are favorable to us today, we will have a join. So let's just wait. Yeah, there it is. So we have an accepted join request here that we can see in the live data. So we can go here and also go to the live data view where we can get some more information. We can see here, okay, that we have a setup event, the light value 34, and so on and so forth. And if you want even more information, we can also view the raw event details, including also information of which gateway picked up the signal. In this case, it was the packet broker, so likely some gateway that was registered on the V2 stack. But anyway, so this is now set up correctly. And so one thing I want to point out, which is also a bit new and a bit of a change from V2, is that we now have two layers for the payload formaters. So we have one payload formatter that is going on the application layer. So that means that whenever, so by default, all the payloads that are coming in from all the devices in your application will by default use this application payload formatter. But if you want to specify on the device level which payload formatter to use, you can also do that by clicking through the device and then go to the payload formatter tab, and then you can see what payload formatter is set up for this particular end device. In this case, because the end device or this thing's node here was set up using the device repository, it will also automatically set the formatter type to the repository encoder. So the device repository also includes the encoders and decoders for this device. And so we can also automatically set this already, which is what we did right here. But of course, if you want to, you can just use your own, or you can use but we will just stick to the repository. And as you know, also from V2, we have the payload formatter testing functionality here. So just to showcase this real quick, I'll just go to this latest payload here and just copy out the raw payloads, go back to the payload formatter, just paste it here. Maybe do the 4th F port, because the F port controls the event type, and F port 4 should be buttons. So if I test this, you can see that the payload is valid, and you can see, yeah, basically what payload would result from this. Yeah, so what decoded payload would result from this encoded payload. Okay, so with that out of the way, so we have our device set up correctly. So
yeah,
now
one thing to add regarding the go to the live view, please. The live view of the events. And it's worth mentioning that there are actually much more events that are
Indeed.
sent by the device. And yeah, if you could
Indeed.
explain that would be helpful.
Maybe I can just, yeah, thanks, Bogdan. It's very true. So one thing we changed recently is that, so the things stack has a lot more information connected to the data that is being transferred through the network. And so we used to show all of these events that are connected to an uplink or a downlink or whatever other event there is in the things stack. And so it used to be a little bit noisy. Of course, if you're doing debugging, it is very helpful to see all these events. But I think on a day-to-day basis, you are typically not interested in all these specific information. So what we did is we filter out all these messages by default and only show the ones which you are most likely interested in, which, for example, in this case is just a forward uplink data message. So if I click the button, we see this new message here coming in. So, but if I use the verbose stream and do the same thing again, you can see that we will get a lot more information that is connected to this uplink. And so, yeah, so if you're doing debugging, you can do that as well. But now by default, this is deactivated, so you will not be bombarded with too many messages, especially if you have multiple devices set up. That can become very noisy very quickly. So this is something that has been improved very recently, and so for everyone who is not aware of that, I think it's a good thing to know that this is now the case. Yes, so thanks, Bogdan. So I think we will give now to you, but first we want to, of course, give you access to this application. So with this collaboration management in the things stack, we can go to the collaborator tab, click on add collaborators, and then just enter the username. So one new thing also in ThinkStack is you can also you can set up organizations, which is basically a group of users, and then you can grant this group of users also rights the same way that as you would do with just a single user. Yeah, but we won't do this in this case. We'll just give this right to Bogdan. And also, I always have to say that usually you will want to grant only the rights which are strictly necessary for the things that you want to achieve. But in this case, for the sake of simplicity, I will just grant all rights to Bogdan. And so, yeah, Bogdan, you have access. So I will stop sharing my screen, and then hopefully you can take over.
Yep. Can you see my screen, hopefully?
Yes.
Nice. Okay, so if I refresh the page, then indeed I see the this one, right? TTNV3 session. If exactly. So yeah, we have the device here, and what I want to do is to actually get these uplinks that are arriving here to this application to my application that will be hosted on my machine currently. So to do that, we have the integrations tab, and I'll be using Mqtt. And if you navigate to the Mqtt integration page, you'll see a bunch of details here. I have configured some already, but for now, I will need the username, right, to connect to the Mqtt here. So I'll just export it as an environment variable here. Then what I'll need a password, right? So I'll generate a new API key, and we'll do pretty much the same here. Export it as well. It's worth mentioning that you also need one of these, right? Either a public address, or if you need TLS, you also have an option for that. I'll already copy that, and I'll be using just the public address for simplicity here. And basically, just to give you some more details on what we'll be doing, here is a very simple application written in JavaScript. If you're familiar with writing code, then there should be anything new regarding this. So here is just a simple setup for MQTT that can subscribe to a topic, that can open a connection, close a connection, and that can execute code on uplinks that are arriving from the thing stack, right? And additionally to that, there is a setup to actually control the let strip I have here, because it exposes an HTTP REST API, which means that I can actually call the endpoints and just change the color, change the brightness, turn it on or turn it off, doesn't really matter. And that's
maybe just as a quick question in between. So you set up an MQTT broker, right, on your machine, and then you're running a node a node program which basically wraps this MQTT client to connect to the stack, right? Okay.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. You'll definitely need an MQTT broker if you want to work with MQTT. Yeah, and this is a Node application that's running on my laptop here. You can deploy it. It doesn't really matter, but for I'll be just deploying it on my local machine. So that being said, I guess we can run it and hopefully it will work. So if I just run it and we actually see that I'm connected. So Kevin, if you press a button,
so maybe we make your webcam picture bigger. So maybe you unshare your screen so it can people can see it a bit better. Hopefully.
Good point.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. So what should happen? So let's say what should happen. So you see this light in the background there at Bogdans place. So we will now use this node to control the lights. So I can press the button and that will just cycle through the colors. And at the same time, there's also a light sensor which measures the light intensity of the light, and that is also connected to the light intensity that will be used by the LED strip. So let's just try it out. I will just click the button and let's see what happens.
Do it one more time.
Yeah.
Yay, here it is.
Yeah. Okay, we have something happened there. So it's changed to green. Get out, Johan. He wants to crash my presentation here. Okay, so we'll do it again. I press the button once more. So now we have the purple light. So now let's try the light intensity. So I will just set up a flashlight here with my phone, and I'll just try it again. Click the button.
Yeah, it's actually much brighter.
Okay, once more. Yeah. Let's see. Yes.
Yep. Nice.
Cool. And so once more, I will do it like very dark. And let's see if it's really dark. I'll click once more. Yeah, yes, and it is very dark. Yeah. So this is basically the thing. I will be using this now on a daily basis to control the light situation at Bogdans place, which is really for me a big part of concern. And so yeah, as you can see, I hope we could show you how easy it is to set up like an end-to-end use case with the things stack and the console. So maybe one more thing I want to show you just real quick. So just to share my screen again. Or actually, I don't know how much time do we actually have left. So I don't want to.
I guess like 5 minutes.
Okay, so I'll just quickly show you that MQTT is of course only just one way to integrate with your application. So we have more ways here. Webhook the storage integration, which is also a very interesting thing. We don't have time to talk about that today, but if you, for example, use webhooks, you can see that when you add a webhook, we have a lot of different integrators already in here. And all this list of integrators here is actually sourced by an open source repository. So if you also want to integrate with Things Stack, you can submit a pull request to this repository and have your own integration listed here as well. So that is, I think, a very cool thing. Yeah, there's just one more thing I wanted to show, and maybe Bogdans, it would be nice if you maybe can show also the uplink simulation, because I guess while you were setting this up, I'll just unshare again. I guess while setting this up, you were you had to somehow use some data to test it, right? So because you didn't have this physical device in front of you, so how did you do that?
Yeah, so as Kevin said, one of the problems that you can actually experience while developing your own application that's based and is communicated to the Things Stack is the fact that you might not have the device set up to actually emit some messages that you can get in your application, and then just for development purposes, for testing purposes, wherever. So in this case, we actually provide you functionality to test and simulate various messages, and uplink and downlink here. So if you go to the device and select messaging, and in our case, we want to check and simulate an uplink, so just select uplink and provide your payload here. And also have to change it to 4, right? And then you can send it. And as you hopefully can see my background, it's changing. And as well, if you go here, you'll see the events being committed here as well in the live data page within the console. So yeah, nice. you can do that. It can help you if you don't actually have the device, or in our case, for example, I can always ping Kevin, right, and say, hey, press the button and please send a message, but it's not really productive. And what I can do is just go to the console, get the payload, and send it when I need to, or to just adjust my code that's on my side.
Exactly. So yeah, it's a really handy feature right there, and good to show also how you used it there in this situation. So yeah, I guess that is what we wanted to show you guys. I hope there was something new for you there. So we will now be sticking around a little bit more, and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. So if you have any questions regarding the console or the Things Stack in general, we will do our best to answer them. So yeah, just go to the chat and ask away. And yeah, we're excited for your questions. And so far already, thank you for your attention.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah. So let's see. I know you guys have some interesting questions. Don't disappoint me.
Johan and Sharon are actually doing a pretty good job answering questions. I don't think there are many that are unanswered at the moment. Thanks, Johan, by the way.
Yeah.
It's nice to see your boss helping you.
Yeah, exactly. If anyone is, I don't know anyone more knowledgeable about all this, so I think that is like as good as it gets for you guys to have your questions answered.
And can you please share?
So you mean the JS code of Bogdans application, Abhishek?
Yeah, I can do that.
Just upload a gist, I guess.
Yeah, I can do that. I'll because currently it's split across multiple files, but I can just strip them together into one and just put it into GitHub gist. Yeah, sure.
Just one thing. So Abhishek, if you have a, can also, if you want to make your collaborator, you can just have a look around if you want to and change Bogdan's background lighting. So if you have, then just tell us your username. We can do that. So the question from Johan: what does a day in the life of the Things Stack developer look like? Yeah, well, that's a good question. It definitely involves a lot of screen time. But apart from that, we get to choose where we want to be. So, for example, we have many developers here who work from all over the place. Also me personally, last year I was working half a year from Japan, which was really a nice experience. And also the place here in our Amsterdam office is really neat. We have moved a couple of months ago, and we're now basically in the center of Amsterdam, together with many other startups. And it's a really nice vibe here. We get to play a lot of ping pong also. So if any one of you wants to join, make sure you have good ping pong skills, and at least you like to play. Yeah, I would say the days here are always very exciting, and we're always looking, especially also for front-end developers. So there's many things that should be need to be done in the console. So if you are into React and all exciting new front-end technology, then please send your application. Bogdan, how does your life, a day in your life, and things like things industry usually look like?
Quite similar, but the main difference is I can't really go to the office right now because I'm somewhat far away. But you mentioned ping pong, which is a pretty important thing for many of us, and it's quite sad that we can't really do that. But not sure if you can see that on the camera. We've got these things, right? That actually allow us to play ping pong in VR, and which is pretty nice. And do that quite regularly as an exercise as well. So yeah, quite more or less similar.
Yeah, indeed. So if you happen to have Oculus, you want to play some ping pong, I think we all can very much recommend this. It's very, very nice, this ping pong game that they have there. Extremely realistic. I was blown away. Really cool stuff. And you can see the gist you posted a gist. Very nice. One also very good. Yeah.
Yeah, you can just check it out. It's quite simple. Just assemble it, and it should work. Just provide the environment variables that are required there, and that should be it. It's in this case, it's specific to Hue, which is like a product that Philips makes, but you can just replace it with connection to Node-RED or literally anything else you want.
Yeah, exactly. So what are the changes? So the V3 changes are just in the console. If I have a working node on V2, do I have to change the code on the node device to make it compatible? So yeah, Johan already answered. So it's backwards compatible. So you can use the old encoder, and it will also work. But yeah, we updated the signature of the encoders and decoders to allow for a bit more information to be included in the messages, like warnings and errors and so on and so forth. So we recommend using the new style. But yeah, if you want to, you can just use the old one as well. Cool. Yeah, I guess if there are not any more questions, I guess we can conclude. So thank you very much for your time, and again, we hope we could show you some new stuff. There are many more exciting sessions coming up, including installing the ThinkStack on the Raspberry Pi. Some more sessions on webhook should also be very nice. So make sure you join in there. I think for us, this is it for now, but we will always stick around here and hop in. So feel also free to just ask us questions if you want to. Maybe we will also see each other in one of these networking sessions. Maybe I'll also join this today for a bit. Yeah, thank you very much. And I guess see you next time.
Yep.